News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios, Kokomlemle in Accra, at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including ATL FM, Cape Coast, Radio Max Takrady, Jubilee FM in Keta, and Kekeli Radio in Ho. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DigiBank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G, just a touch. And coming up, National House of Chiefs kicks against involvement of political parties in local government elections, warning it could breed corruption and harm the economy.
We are concerned that the introduction of partisan politics into local government will be accompanied by the unwholesome political culture and the corruption associated with partisan politics, which has already done a lot of harm to our society and economy.
Police on manhunt for uncle accused of defiling his 10-year-old niece for 4 years and infecting her with gonorrhea.
I want them to catch him to jail and then they should send him to court.
Why?
Because he has hurt me.
We have details. We'll also find out how you could protect your daughter from becoming a victim. Now, football fan who invaded pitch during the Black Stars clash with South Africa explains he was only looking for selfie opportunity with Atletico Madrid star Thomas Partey.
This is turning out to be something else at the Cape Coast Stadium.
I only heard that they were stopping at Makasini and Univa, and the only opportunity I would get is wonderful. That's why I went there. I want to snap a picture with Thomas Partey.
And later, from trotro driver to best graduating student, we'll tell you the story of Jacob Semeko Mojifa, who gave up driving to pursue higher education, graduating with a GPA of 3.91 out of 4.0.
I went into farming, it didn't work. Then finally, I had to go into commercial driving. And that was where I was able to get money from. Initially, some of them were very intimidating because they see you as a mature student and feel like it was because you couldn't make it in your earlier years. That is why you were able to make it now.
That inspiring story and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. And thanks for staying with us. Let's settle for the details now. The National House of Chiefs says it's opposed to the proposal to have political parties involved in local government elections. In a statement signed by the president of the group, Togbe Afede, the 14th, the chiefs warned that any partisan involvement in the process could breed corruption and harm their communities. The government of Ghana is set to hold a referendum in December as part of the process to amend Article 55(3) of the 1992 Constitution, a provision barring political parties from sponsoring candidates to an election at the local assembly. My colleague Raymond Akwa has details of the statement issued by the chiefs. He joins us in the studio. So Raymond, apart from the breeding of corruption, what else is their concern?
They say that the efficacy and utility of introducing partisan politics into our local government system is questionable. The development implications of such reforms are by no means self-evident, and proceed to say that the framers of the 1992 Constitution had good reasons for protecting our local government system from partisan politics, and the rationale for the new reforms has not sufficiently addressed the grounds for the exclusion.
Well, it appears they have a critique of the current system. What exactly are they saying about that?
They say that currently the appointment of the 30% government nominees to local assemblies has been totally vitiated by partisan politics, with the result that appointments are determined by party membership to the virtual exclusion of traditional authorities and other non-political groups, a total travesty of principles of good governance. They conclude on that point.
Well, it looks like there's a lot of confusion as to what exactly this referendum is about. But just like the NCC, the House of Chiefs are saying something. What exactly do they say?
They say that we want the citizenry to know that the referendum is meant to permit unbridled partisan politics into our local government. And so the merits of the proposed reform should be assessed on that particular basis alone.
Now, they also talk about the age-old winner-takes-all issues. What are their concerns about that?
And they are of the opinion that whilst they are aware that the election of chief executives of districts and also could result in the coexistence of central government and the local government controlled by different political parties, experience clearly demonstrate that the culture of winner-takes-all will prevail at the local level. to the detriment of our united development endeavors.
So it looks like the National House of Chiefs have joined the no vote for the upcoming referendum. But let's stay a while longer on this because the NCC has been speaking. They say that Ghanaians must decide whether or not the constitution must be amended by voting on December 17. Chairperson of the NCC, Josephine Nkrumah, spoke to Israel Eye on Joy Prime on the Joy News channel last night.
We've come to a junction in our district level elections, and I think going forward, if we all understand the essence of district level elections, or understand the essence that development is really at the district level, and it touches every single one of us, whether you're riding in your car to the house or to work, whether you have water running through your taps, whether you have street lights, all of these things touch the essence of our daily living. And so it's important for all of us to go out and vote. That is the first step. The second step is, again, we've come to that crossroads where we have to determine where we would like to see our district assemblies go. Do we want to have political parties coming all the way down to participate in driving development, or we think that this is not the time? If you don't come out to vote, somebody else will be voting. So everybody has got to come out and vote. Take a position, come out and vote.
Chairperson of the NCC, Josephine Nkrumah, December 7 is just around the corner. What will it be for you? A no or a yes vote? But whatever you do, you have to go out there and vote. Exercise your power as a citizen. Now, the Anya police is on a manhunt for an uncle said to have sexually abused and defiled his 10-year-old niece for 4 years. The 46-year-old fugitive, only named as David, is reported to have fled their home after initially admitting to abusing the girl we choose to call Abby. The girl is battling a sexually transmitted infection and says her uncle began playing with her genitals when she was only 6 years old and continued until she was taught in school not only to allow anyone touch her inappropriately. Komladum visited the family. Here's his report.
I was 6 years when he started. He fondles my breast and touches me inappropriately. He groped me in the kitchen several times, especially when no one is around. He gave me 10 cedis to play with his penis.
That is the account of 10-year-old Abi, who is now left with permanent scars from almost 4 years of sexual abuse at the hands of her own uncle. At 6 years, her uncle David began playing with her genitals whenever her parents were away.
He shows me pornographic movies on his phone before touching me. I struggled out of his grasp the other day.
Her mother says from her daughter's narration, her uncle sometimes carries out the act after hypnotizing her. This is how the issue came to light.
Our
teacher taught us to resist elderly people touching our private parts. That was when I learned all my uncle had been doing to me was very bad.
And today, 10-year-old Abi is battling a sexually transmitted infection, according to a medical report cited by Joy News. The report by doctors at the University of Ghana Hospital also revealed her hymen is broken, but a decision to have the culprit prosecuted is splitting the family while the perpetrator remains on the run.
Her uncle admitted to abusing her. He pleaded to be forgiven and offered to cater for her medical bills. David's grandfather asked that we settle this at home.
For now, the Anya police has begun investigating the matter, but mother of a 10-year-old says she is hopeful the matter will be dealt with speedily.
We hope the police will speed up the prosecution if he's found.
He undergo treatment, can it be?
She's been diagnosed of gonorrhea and is being treated.
At 10 years, she's already scarred. Her pride has been taken, but she says,
I want them to catch him to jail and then they should send him to court.
Why?
Because he has hurt me.
Such a distressing story there. Komladum has been following this and joins me in studio with more on this. So Komla, tell me, the parents did not know about this for 4 years? You've been speaking to the mother of the child. What did she say?
Well, according to her, when the issue first came up, they simply dismissed any such possibility that the girl could have been abused in that manner by her own uncle. And this was when she was about 6 years old. And for 4 years, this man has been abusing the girl until recently. According to what she said, she was told in school that when anybody touches you inappropriately, you should report to your mother.
My mother discovered an unusual discharge from her vagina when she was 6. She had hinted that her uncle used to insert his fingers in her vagina, but we did not believe her. I thought it was perhaps candidiasis, so we did the hot water therapy for her until the area got healed. Since then, I have not checked up what's happening with her.
Now, Kamla, you've been speaking to the police about that, but before I ask about that, or you tell me about what the police have been saying, you've cited the medical report. What exactly did it say?
So, among other things, the medical report from the University of Ghana Medical Hospital says the young girl had bruises in her vagina. She had sores all over at the time she was brought, and she had also contracted gonorrhea, which she is currently being treated for. And with respect to the police and what they've been doing so far, we know that after the case was reported to the Anya police, they issued a medical form to the family to have the girl examined on November 12th. And that has been done, and then the report has since been presented to the police, who have commenced investigations into this case. In fact, the police say they are exploring all possibilities in their search for the fugitive, and we know already that the family is split over whether or not to have this uncle prosecuted.
Well, and how long has he been on the run, do we know?
They tell me the last 2 months.
Okay. Well, let's speak to Executive Director of Child Rights International, Mr. Appiah, Bright Appiah. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News, Mr. Appiah. So, this is a 10-year-old, she would be scarred for life, we should say, and broken as well. But here is the family divided on whether this uncle should be prosecuted. What would be your advice at this point if they are listening to you?
Well, it doesn't fall within the decision of the family to decide whether or not they want the uncle to be prosecuted. Once it's a criminal act, it moves away from the family into the formal system. So all that we need to do is to ensure that the role that the state needs to play in getting the uncle arrested and prosecute him must be done. And then also there's another aspect of it that has to do with the child, in terms of the social protection system that we have to build for the child. So it's either the state will take up the responsibility of taking care of the child, or place the child within the family and then entrust the care of the child in the hands of a trusted member of the family. Because if you look at our social and family welfare system, it is very difficult for you to take away the child from the family unit. So we need to ensure that we build the structures within the family to be able to render the services that the state would have done if they have taken the child from the family. So these are the things that we expect that the state will do.
But this is a child, and we are told that it's been happening for the past 4 years. What does this say about parenting and the environment we create for our children to speak to us about such issues?
Well, there is a little talk about how parents need to conduct themselves with their children in the Children's Act. Basically, what it deals with has to do with the family being the basic unit for the growth of every child. Therefore, it implies that any basic responsibility that the family must give to the child, they have to do it. But there is some kind of interaction that can go on between a children and then the family, especially if the child is a male. The relationship that can exist between a male child and a female mother is also clearly stated, and then also a female child and then a male father or any other person in that environment. So there are certain parts that even as a father you cannot touch your female child, or you cannot even use it as a form of play or trying to experiment with it. So it is the same thing that goes to anybody who finds themselves in that environment. So it is up to parents to have that understanding and then ensure that they provide information available to children so that if people take advantage of that, they would have a reason to report such matters to the parent or any appropriate body that they deem can assist them in terms of how they deal with the matter. So those are the things that we expect, or that's the way we expect that the family will conduct themselves in relation to how they interact with children in the home and the things that they have to do for them and the things that they cannot do so far as the child is concerned.
We're grateful for your time. That's Executive Director of Child Rights International, Bright Apia. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM, also live on Facebook and all our platforms on social media as well. But let's head to Bimbilla now in the northern region, because at least 3 people are reported injured following a violent clash between police and members of the Nakbana family on Thursday during the Damba festival. Witnesses say police tried to stop the Nakba family from going ahead with the ceremony to mark the annual Damba festival. Correspondent Martina Bugri has been following the story and joins us on the line with more on this. Martina, what can you tell us will be the latest on this particular story?
What we have is that 3 persons were injured yesterday. One is a 62-year-old man, Adam Bauer. So he has been discharged. He was bruised and has been discharged from the Bimbilla hospital. But the 2 others, a 16-year-old girl is currently on admission at the Bimbilla Municipal Hospital. She sustained gunshot. And a 24-year-old woman also has been referred to the Tamale Teaching Hospital for further treatment. And so basically this is the update. But I'm told that this happened yesterday when the Napana family were rehearsing for the Damba celebration. Per the Supreme Court ruling in 2017. It gave the legitimacy for the Bimbilla, the current Bimbilla regent. He has the power as the regent, and so they were stopped by the security from rehearsing and then to celebrate because it was illegal. And there was a clash, and 3 people were injured, as we are being told.
So, Martina, can you tell us if calm has been restored to the area?
Yes, I spoke to the municipal chief executive a while ago, and he says that camp has been restored. They beef up security, actually. They had called for reinforcement, and so the security beef up in the area, and people are going about their duties. And he also tells me that the celebration for the Damba will take place at the Nyelbon Lana's Palace this afternoon. He says that sub-chiefs within the area have all gathered, and the celebration will be held.
You heard there Martina Bugri, a Northern Regional Correspondent. So from Bimbilla, let's head to Wa, because the former President John Dramani Mahama has called on the National Identification Authority to work swiftly to remove all bottlenecks prospective registrants could go through to acquire the Ghana card. He said since the start of the exercise, the process had been slow and that the authority must work to fix the challenge. Mr. Mahama said this at the climax of the Dumba Festival in Wa.
I wish to call on the National Identification Authority to do something about the process of issuance of the Ghana card to our citizens in the Upper West region. There have been complaints about the slow process in several regions, and it looks like that experience is playing out again in the Upper West region. We know next year is an election year, and the Ghana card is going to be an important one of the identification means to show that people are Ghanaian. And therefore, it's important that as many Ghanaians who seek to acquire the card should be able to do so. And so if it's a question of equipment, I think that the National Identification Authority should be up and doing so that as many people in this region can acquire the card during the period that they are registering here.
You heard the former President John Dramani Mahama speaking from Wa. It's a good time to take a quick break here on the Midday News. Our top stories first, though. The National House of Chiefs kicks against involvement of political parties in local government elections, warning it could breed corruption and harm the economy. When we return from the break, football fan who invaded the pitch during the Black Stars clash with the Bafana explains he was only looking for selfie opportunity with Atletico Madrid star Thomas Partey.
This is turning out to be something else at the Kempo Stadium.
I only heard that they were stopping at Makasimi and Univa, and the only opportunity I would get is on the foot. That's why I went there. I want to snap a picture with Tom Party.
And from trotro driver to best graduating student, we'll tell you the story of Jacob Sameko Mojifa, who gave up driving to pursue higher education, graduating with a GPA of 3.91 out of 4.0.
I went into farming, it didn't work. Then finally, I had to go into commercial driving. And that was where I was able to get money from. Initially, some of them were very intimidating because they see you as a mature student and feel like it was because you couldn't make it in your earlier years. That is why you were able to make it now.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
On Tuesday, 17th December 2019, the Electoral Commission will conduct the District Assembly elections, Unit Committee elections, and referendum from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. It is important that we all get involved to ensure that people who can bring development to our areas.
Jacob left high school with dreams of pursuing higher education, but this was not to be.
The ballot for the referendum. Vote yellow for yes or brown for no. Whether you agree that political parties must be allowed to participate in the local government elections. The second ballot paper is the ballot paper for the district assembly elections, and you must vote for only one candidate. And the third ballot paper is the unit committee election, and you must vote for only 5 candidates. It is an offense for a person who is not a registered voter to vote or to attempt to vote in the name of another person, whether dead or alive. Remember, the date for the district assembly elections, unit committee elections, and referendum is Tuesday, 17th December 2019 from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Your vote is your power.
It's the last day of work for the year. Time to be happier. You spot a bin 20 meters away and kick some crumpled paper. It goes in. You're happy. You go home, turn on DSTV, and the biggest match of the Premier League is on. You remember you can slow down, pause, and rewind every moment of the action. You feel happier than a kid with 365 birthdays. If football makes you happy, our Soccer League's latest series and attention-driven kids content will make you even happier. Happy holidays from DSTV with great entertainment from only 40 Ghana cedis a month. Get a fully installed DSTV Zappa decoder with 1-month access subscription by just visiting the nearest accredited dealer or calling 0302 740 540. Terms and conditions apply. DSTV. Feel every moment.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Let's delve into some sporting action now, because Ghana's clash with the Bafana of South Africa yesterday at the Cape Coast Stadium was not without drama, as the game was put on hold for minutes, with security men giving a pitch invader a hot chase. Awal, who used to run the 400-meter race while at Apam Senior High School, tells Joy News' Richard Kojonyako that he only wanted to take a selfie with Atletico Madrid star Thomas Partey.
This is turning out to be something else at the Cape Coast Stadium.
I want to snap a picture with Thomas Partey.
Why? I mean, is he your idol?
Yes, I like the way he plays. So I just wanted to have a picture with him.
Only a picture?
Yes.
But why did you have to jump onto the field? Because he was at Casford, he was at Atlantic Hall and all of that. Didn't you see him?
No. I only heard that they were stopping at Makasimi and Univa. And the only opportunity I will get is on the field. That's why I went there.
Okay. Are you a runner? Because, I mean, the energy with which you run on the pitch, eventually a fire service man even had to fall in the process.
Back at senior high, I was an athlete. I was running 400 and 200 meters for Apam Senior High. I even represent Central in the inter-regional games several times since JSS to SS. I just want to go home, take my bath, and go to the mosque. Today is Friday.
So that's a while they're telling his story to Joy News' Richard Kojunyako. Of course, that's the talent we should be chasing. But he's currently in the custody of police and he's been charged with unlawful entry and offensive conduct. And by the way, the Black Stars beat the Bafana 2-0. Now, inadequate funds have often been blamed by many for their failure to climb up the academic ladder. The story was not any different for 34-year-old Jacob Semeko Mojifa, who became a trotro driver after high school with a little hope of completing higher education. But he decided he couldn't remain there all his life and so decided to continue his education. Well, he's now graduated with a grade point average of 3.91 on a scale of 4.0. Student journalist Manuel Cranting has the rest of the story.
Jacob left high school with dreams of pursuing higher education, but this was not to be as the means of financing it was simply non-existent.
The secondary school, I got admission here in 2005, but there was no money. But I had the hope that since I've got that admission, I can still make it.
But he never gave up.
I tried several things earlier on. I went into farming, it didn't work. I worked with Venus Films for about 8 months, still didn't work. Then finally, I had to go into commercial driving. And that was where I was able to get money from. And I realized that coming here straight would be a problem because the money wasn't enough to pay my fees for 4 years.
He opted to venture teacher training as he was sure of earning allowances.
And by then, the training college allowance was there.
Okay.
So I quickly went to Presbyterian College of Education, Ekropong, Ekuapim. After 3 years, I was done, and I went to teach. But whilst I was teaching, I still had that dream that Legon is where I'm supposed to come. If I couldn't come all these years, I can still apply. I applied again in 2015, and I got it.
But the dream of earning a degree was never lost. On Thursday, he was one of thousands of students who graduated from the University of Ghana. Even after graduating top of his class, Jacob says his best achievement is yet to come.
But I don't see this to be the greatest achievement. I just see it as one step that I've taken a step now, and I need to take more steps to make this one. So there's a lot more to be done than thinking you've gotten the top of the class, and so you are the best of the world. No, I know there are more competition ahead, and I'll just put up my best to make sure that even those ones I achieve more than what I've been able to achieve today.
And you just heard the best graduating student at the University of Ghana, Jacob Semeko Mojifa, ending that report. It's never too late to chase your dreams, like we always say. But let's stay a while longer at the University of Ghana, because it's announced that the work of the 5-member committee set up into recent sexual harassment claims has been concluded. Now, speaking at the 2019 graduation congregation ceremony for graduates in the College of Humanities undergrad programs, Vice Chancellor Professor Ebenezer Oduro Owusu confirmed the recommendations have been forwarded to him.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, following the recent media reports of alleged sexual harassment cases involving some faculty of the university, management has taken steps to enforce its anti-sexual harassment regulations. Following the broadcast, management set up a 5-member fact-finding committee chaired by Her Ladyship Justice Retired Vida Akoto Ampofu to conduct an inquiry into the matter. I'm happy to inform you that the committee submitted its report to me on Tuesday, the 12th of November, 2019. Management will therefore study the report and ensure implementation of the recommendations.
You heard the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana. Now, today on the Super Morning Show, there was talk about Donald Trump and about his impeachment, the impeachment of the world's most powerful man, and why his own appointees, including ambassadors, could testify against him. We can listen to some callers.
Over there, the systems work. In Ghana, the systems work. I don't think that can happen in this side of the world because everything is political. The average black man is sick. And I think we have to deliberately find a way of reorienting ourselves as Africans and as Ghanaians.
We are like Esau. We sold our birthright to Jacob. So Jacob is the president and the appointees are Esau. Even the vice can Baumia challenge Akufo-Addo.
You see these power munchies and nobody gives an order. Our water bodies are getting destroyed. So I think politics transcends down to the grassroots, and because of that, this thing can
So we have the callers who called in on whether this can happen in Ghana. But it's time for social media, what you're talking about. And this lady thinks that she can fool any of us. She's now wearing her Black Stars jersey. We beat you 2-0.
Please, we are being professional.
Why are you wearing this? Where's your boyfriend?
We are being professional. Let me tell you what people are talking about on social media. All right, so we put up a poll on our Facebook page, and 12,900 people voted whether they're voting yes or no in the upcoming referendum. 27% said yes, they're voting yes, and then 73% said no, and that's out of 12,900 people. But Frank Dankwa says, I'm going to vote, but will vote no, simply because we can't afford to divide the local level too because of partisan politics.
And we're bringing back the love for the Black Stars. And that's it for the Midday News. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. I am Emefa Apau. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Dr. Mensa Otabil is up next with Living Word. Please stay with us.